What is good, everybody? Over the next couple of days, I want to grade the Chicago Bulls position groups, and today we're going to start off with the point guard position, and it starts right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the pages. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, grading out different positions on the Bulls team, right? And I'm doing it legit, right? Like, I've got a grading, you dig, based on a scale of 100%. I'm giving it in, normal grades, 50s a D, 60s, or 50s a F, 60s a D, 70s a C. 80s a B, 90s a A, 100s a A plus, right? And you grading based off of there, right? But I want to go through each position group over the next couple of days, and wanted to start with the point guard position today because it's a position that, surprisingly, right, the Bulls kind of have a little bit of a strength at, but it doesn't go as deep as you might think when you're talking about specific positions, right? Because there's a bunch of guys that can play the combo, right? Zach can do both and play forward. DeMar has control of the ball in his hands a lot. Ayo's kind of a combo. Kobe's kind of a combo, right? But we're going to break it down based on kind of what given position is, I guess I would say. So starting it off, right, let's jump straight into it. Let's start it off with Lonzo Ball, right? Point guard, number one, definitely our day one, hoping that he's going to come back healthy. For me, I gave Lonzo Ball a B. I could give him an A based on actual production on the court, but I'm lowering that grade an entire grade because I don't know when Lonzo's going to be back. I don't know how much Lonzo's going to contribute to this season. And he's a guy that's been up and down health-wise throughout his career. Now, with all that being said, the player that's on the court is phenomenal. I'm talking about you're getting top-tier defense, some of the best defense in the NBA. You've got great wingspan on Lonzo Ball. He's able to guard 1 through 4, essentially. Sometimes even switching on to some 5s and being able to knock that ball out of there. He literally plays every single passing lane on the court. And the court vision is ridiculous from a guy like Lonzo Ball. So for me, I gave Lonzo an 80%. That 80% is based on health, right? I can't give you an A if you're not going to be there. I almost could have gave him a C in my opinion, but when you go back and watch what the Bulls are doing early on in that season, he's such a key. And this offense runs so differently without him in there and with him in there, right? Like, so that's why for me, when I was breaking this down, right, I end up giving Lonzo Ball an 80% because of also, you have to add on to it, right? Turned himself into a heck of a three-point shooter for the Chicago Bulls here. Something that we didn't expect to get from Lonzo Ball. So for me, Lonzo Ball gets a B. Could be an A-type player, but not on the court. So let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments below. We're going to keep it pushing. Appreciate you guys for showing so much love, man. Next on the list is Ayo Dosunmu. For where he's at, I'm giving Ayo Dosunmu an A. Because Ayo Dosunmu last season was not only one of the best defenders in the NBA among rookies, he was one of the best defenders in the NBA on ball. Ayo Dosunmu changed so many people's minds last season when you're talking about how he was able to attack, how he was able to get out in front of guys, how he was able to contain guys that normally go off, right? Trae Young essentially struggled against him, did a good job a little bit on Bradley Beal as well, and kind of got himself in some good positions versus guys like that. I think a step for Ayo Dosunmu is going to be huge this season. I think we're going to see it, and just having the confidence of being in the NBA. And Ayo Dosunmu, very much like Lonzo Ball, right, when you're talking about on the defensive side, and even maybe surpassing him in some ways in his rookie year, but doesn't have that court vision the same. And the problem there, I think that when you're getting into it, right, is that it was just an experience, right? There was times where absolutely the court vision's there. He's got it. But the inexperience of being in the NBA and getting put into such a role his rookie year, I think he handled a lot of it well. And there were moments where a lot of people would say, well, an A is way too high for a guy like Ayo Dosunmu. But I think the fact that he handled all that in his rookie year, and now he's coming back in his sophomore year looking to take a step, I think he's your best point guard on the team that's available right now, right? And he should be the starting point guard if Lonzo Ball can't go. He does everything well for you. I think you're going to get a little bit more scoring out of an Ayo Dosunmu coming into this season. And so for me, I'm giving him an A on this one. Nothing crazy, not an A+, but I think he's one of the, at a minimum, right, when you look at this team, Ayo Dosunmu, without Lonzo Ball here, is probably the best defender on your team right now. Maybe Patrick Williams makes a case, but he only played 17 games last year. So that's going to be interesting to see. But coming into this season, I definitely view Ayo Dosunmu as a big part of this team. And I've got him at a 90% A on this one. Not an A+, just an A. Then we start to get into it, right? Goran Dragic is next on the list. For me, Goran Dragic is a C. Goran Dragic is coming here to fill one role, I believe, for the Chicago Bulls, and that is to be a guy that has played in the NBA for a long time and has some ability. Not to say that he's a bad player, not to say that he can't give the Bulls good contribution here, but when I look at this like team, right, like I don't see where Goran Dragic kind of takes over this starting spot. I don't think he comes in here and becomes a starting point guard. I think if you're talking about in retrospect of how you're going to use him, he's Kobe White insurance kind of. But if Kobe White plays well, then all of a sudden Goran Dragic is just money on the books. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where you start to look at it and you say, all right, well, yeah, he'd be a nice spot up shooter for the Bulls. He'd be a nice guy that's able to come out there and knock down some three balls, which is definitely something the Bulls need, right? But you're hoping that your young guys take that step. If they don't, I can definitely see Goran Dragic getting more time. But again, I think there's a specific role for Dragic. He's not going to be the main guy coming in here, right? I think he's a 12 to 15 minute a game guy, no matter what he says about playing 20 to 25 minutes a night. I think he's a 12 to 15 minute a game guy. I think he takes over for the Matty Legend spot, basically. Matty Ice, if you want to call him that, Matt Thomas. I think that's basically the role that he's going to play. He's definitely not going to be a defender out there. He's a liability on defense at times. And so for me, right, he's a C type of player. If he's not knocking down his shot, you don't have a lot of use for him on this Bulls team. And then coming down to the last player on the list of point guards, and I know you can kind of throw this guy everywhere, but they've got him listed as a guard. I thought of him more as a forward, but they've got him listed as a guard. I don't see him much as a two guard. So they've got Dalen Terry on here, so I'm throwing him in with the point guards. They don't have him listed specifically what he is, of course, based on position now, but he's not a two guard in my opinion. If you're going to play him at that guard position, he's definitely a point guard. I gave him a 70% as well, mostly just because of unknown. I think there's a ton of upside with this kid. I think he's a guy that's definitely going to be able to facilitate the ball. If you watched him at all in Summer League, you saw he's got that quick release that's able to get the ball down. And he also has some scoring ability, which kind of caught me off guard. You know, all of a sudden AK was like, I'd rather see him score the ball first, and then you worry about getting your buckets in there. Yeah, or then you worry about facilitating the ball. And he all of a sudden, right, turned it on. He's very good going downhill, finishing through the contact and things like that, at least on the Summer League and college level. Now it's going to be interesting to see how he adds that into the pros. I'm going 70% on this just because of the unknown of him. I think there is a lot of upside with him, but I don't know how much of that we're going to see in his rookie year. That can definitely change, and we'll probably do an updated one midway through the season or even a quarter of the way through the season, just kind of grading out these guys. But I put this mug in the I don't know what this is, syllabus, whatever this is, some app that basically gives you out grades, right? It's just percentages. I could have done the math, but I don't want to. So at the point guard position right now, we're talking about a 77.5% at your point guard position. That is a C+. Now, here's the thing, right? If Lonzo is healthy, I said I would give him an A, not an A+, but an A. That would move you up to a B level position at your point guard position, a solid 80% in that situation. But the unknown of Lonzo's health, the unknown of if he's going to be there, I think that you do have an okay point guard setup right now, especially with the young fella being in there, and he could change a lot of minds as well. But right now, right, with just the unknown of Lonzo Ball, I think a C is probably right around there. A 77.5 is a C+. I think that's probably right around where a lot of Bulls fans would feel about this team because of how much we know Lonzo Ball means to this Bulls team. But as always, man, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. We're going to keep doing these positional breakdowns throughout the rest of this week, pretty much. Appreciate you guys tuning in and showing so much love. To continue watching our Chicago Bulls content, click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.